Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here, Michael Butler. We are excited. We've got a great guest today. We're going to be going live in about 1 minute. We've got best-selling author Orrick Quick and his new book, I've Got a Chip on My Shoulder. He is the winner of the Great American Speakoff. Out of 30,000 competitors, he has won the competition, and he's going to be joining us soon. So don't go anywhere. This is going to be epic today. So grab a pen, grab a friend, text someone. We're starting soon. Changing lives in New York and NASDAQ and beyond. Michael D. Butler, Global Book Publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org.
I don't celebrate birthdays. I just don't celebrate birthdays.
All right, guys, we've got a great guest today. I am so glad that you're here. I'm so excited. You know, it's summertime, and some people take a break from their business, and some people really add value. Some people really grow. Some people really reach out and change lives. Well, I got to say, I heard this gentleman speak on the stage a few months ago in Florida, and out of 30,000 attendees, contestants, competitors of the Great American Speakoff, Mr. Orrick Quick has won number one. His best-selling book is launching today. I've Got a Chip on My Shoulder. I want you to grab somebody. I want you to get them here. This man will change your life. From North Carolina, Orrick Quick, how you doing today? Welcome to Michael D. Show.
Sir, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
Oh, really, really glad to have you here. The story here, we've been following you online. A lot of people know Grant Cardone, Pete Vargas, the Great American Speakoff. Kind of tell us the story. How did it go down for you that you told your wife you're going to get on that stage? And I was there when you won the competition, and that was the first thing out of your mouth. I've got a chip on my shoulder. And I think there were five or six finalists. And man, I got so many questions to ask you, but just give us a little snapshot of who is Orrick Quick.
Yeah, Orrick Quick is an overcomer. I have been overcoming ever since I've been born. When that doctor wanted my mother to abort me and get rid of me, my mom, she squared her shoulders and said, I'm not giving up on my baby. I am going to give him a chance. I'm going to give him life. And since then, my life, and that is the reason why God named me Orrick. Orrick actually means oak tree. And I've had to be strong ever since birth. I've been going through some things ever since. And so that is my message, that I'm teaching everyone that everyone has a little bit of Orrick inside of them. Everybody has an oak tree. You got to be strong. You got to be able to endure in order for you to see the prize. So I'm excited.
I love how you're making your name an adjective for other people to pick up and to take on. You're living up to your name. Now, I know that faith is a big part of your life, but also family is a big part of your life. Wow, living up to the name. And tell me some of the hard times you went through. What are some of the things that you've had to overcome to get where you're at today? And then, I want to dive into the competition and all that, but I want to dive into how did you overcome and start seeing yourself differently than stereotypically you could have turned out and been another statistic?
You know, one of the hardest things that I had to deal with was when my mom died in my arms. At the age of 15 years old, my mom passed away. I was the last person to speak with my mother before she left this earth. And that was just heartbreaking. I want to just talk to the individuals who are dealing with people who, loved ones who passed away, and you're still struggling with that. Well, many years ago, I was in the Word of God. I was reading and just really meditating on the Word of God. And all of a sudden, I saw my mother going into heaven. I saw it. It was just as clear as day, and I could see her back. And this loud voice said to her, "You can go back if you want to." In other words, they will resuscitate you and you'll go back to the earth. And she turned around to come back to the earth. But then another voice, the same voice said, "But if you go back, so many people, your children and loved ones, they will not be who they are chosen to be if you go back." And she turned right back around and marched straight into heaven. That my mom understood that, and not to mention, I was a mama's boy.
Tell me about that. Were you the oldest child?
No, I'm the youngest. I'm the Benjamin of the group.
Okay, gotcha. Wow.
And that's how it all started. When my mom made that decision, it was letting me know that she made a sacrifice in order for me to be who I am today, and I'm grateful for it.
Well, I tell you what, a lot of people are watching online. Just chime in, friends. Give us a shout. Give Orrick a shout. Tell us where you're watching from, what platform you're watching on. It's called "I've Got a Chip on My Shoulder," launching everywhere today. Everywhere books are sold: Walmart.com, Target.com, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, Chapters up in Canada, Books A Million, Raccoon, formerly eBay. So exciting that your book is hardcover, paperback, ebook, audiobooks coming out soon. How long have you been wanting to write a book? And then what are people going to get when they grab "I've Got a Chip on My Shoulder"? What are they going to take home with them?
Yeah, there are books in me. I got a lot of books in me. And so I've been waiting to write this particular book because I want to show people that the chip on your shoulder is actually a gift from God. It's a gift. A lot of people don't understand that the storm that you're in is designed to transform you so that you'll never be the same ever again. I'll never forget this. When I lost my home in a house fire back in 2016, I was on my knees crying. And I said, "God, what is going on? What is this?" And I heard that still small voice say to me, "This will be the fire that kindles the fire." And believe it or not,
say that again. I like that.
Man, this will be the fire that kindles the fire. That a lot of us go through a natural fire to ignite the spiritual fire that's on the inside of us. And we got to rise up. We got to be who God has called us to be.
Wow. So you got a lot of books on the inside of you. You talk in this book about family. You talk in this book about faith. I want to get a little bit into the Great American Speakoff. That day was probably a little overwhelming. There were thousands of people at the hotel, in the ballroom there. Grant Cardone, a lot of people know who he is. Internet billionaire, real estate investor, internet marketer, and Pete Vargas. I mean, tell me a little bit about that journey. How did you hear about it? How did you sign up? How did you go from being among the crowd of 30,000 people to being the finalist and then to being the winner?
And this is the reason why I tell people, don't you ever give up on your dream. When I first auditioned for the Great American Speakoff, I didn't get that golden ticket the first time. I didn't get it the second time. I didn't get it the third time. But out of nowhere, I get a phone call from 10X Stages workshop saying, "Hey, do you want to come join a workshop?" I said, "No, I'm okay." They said, "Well, there's a possibility that you can win a golden ticket and enter the semifinals." I said, "Well, now you got my attention."
There you go. So, the thing of it is, you didn't give up. You tried again. So it was on your fourth shot that you made it to the top.
That's right. And from there, I jumped in the car with my family, my wife, Ashley, and 4 kids. and we drove down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 10.5 hours. Check this out, with no golden ticket in hand, but just believing that I was going to win one. And when I got down to Fort Lauderdale, won the golden ticket and ended up winning, being in the top 5, and actually nominated as the number 1 in the top 5.
Yeah. It was something there that was tangible in the room. I know you do a lot of speaking. You're a minister. I want to get into that a little bit and ask you about that and how that's affected your business life. And then kind of, I relate to you on a lot of levels. I've got 4 kids and, spent time in ministry and then do business. And, it seems to me that as the internet enters a new phase, we're like a web 3.0, web 4.0 world, that powerful speaking, being able to communicate is so much more important, because there's so much competition and so many lives are at stake, and there's so much noise in people's brains that we've got to simplify our message many times. And we've got to find a way to reach people. What drives you? What are you passionate about? Give us a little, were you always a great orator, or was it something, did you have a mentor? How did you get to where you're at? Because, obviously you had given a few speeches before you showed up in Fort Lauderdale. What was your journey?
Most definitely. When I first got started, I was not where I am today. But I'll never forget what Les Brown told me. I had the opportunity to present to Les Brown, and he looked at me and said, "Orrick, who is your mother? Because you must be my son." And so I need for everyone to know that you're not going to be this amazing speaker the first time you speak. But if you just keep going and you keep speaking and I use my skills everywhere. I can speak at the gas station, the grocery store, and you can't allow anything to stop you from using your gift to your best ability. And so, yeah.
So you're a pastor, you're a minister. So are you involved in business as well, or is ministry your full-time gig?
Yeah, so I'm in the business of, I enjoy helping people becoming the best speaker they can become on stage. I help you to be able to craft out your story, because if you have a story, you can sell anything. And so that's what I do. I help speakers, coaches, entrepreneurs get to a level of confidence, because communication is your first billboard for your business.
It's called I've Got a Chip on My Shoulder. It's available everywhere books are sold. Grab it today. And ebook, audiobook coming soon, hardcover, paperback. So you're speaking everywhere. Les Brown was a mentor to you and encouraged you to use your voice. And you're teaching people, coaching people on how to become better storytellers. What's the best way for people? I got your Instagram up. What's the best way for people to connect with you, Orrick?
Absolutely. www.godcodementorship.com. If you want to gain mentorship and be able to do exactly what I did on that stage in Hollywood, Florida, that won the biggest speaking competition in the world, you need to link up with me. I am going to give you all the tips, all the trades, everything that I do when I step on stage, because I had to do something to have enough confidence to speak to those 5,000 people and not be shaken and not be, nervous about that. And so you need those tips, and I'm here to help you.
Give us that website one more time, Orrick.
www.godcodementorship.com.
godcodementorship.com. Let me know if I got that spelled correctly.
Yes, sir. You got it. Yes, sir.
All right. So people can go there. Let me put calendar here. Can they get on the calendar here? Are they going to opt in? What are they going to find when they get there?
Yes. So you're going to be able to chat with me directly. Just go to the group. You'll click on the tab that says groups, and then send me a message, and we'll stay connected forever. You won't be able to get rid of me, and we'll be able to make some progress and get things done.
The number one fear of in the world is dying. And the number 2 fear is public speaking, right? Now, a lot of people are probably more afraid of speaking than they are dying. I knew at 15 I wanted to be a public speaker.
Yeah.
I knew when I was a kid. I grew up on the farm in Oklahoma, and I knew that I wanted to be a meteorologist or a minister, because those were the only 2 careers I knew you could get paid to be a professional speaker. And there's not a lot of training out there. There's a lot of noise out there.
Yeah.
And so you've got these tips, you've got these secrets. They're going to go to your website. They're going to opt in. You're going to send them some stuff that's going to help take them to the next level. And it's a Facebook group they can join, right? Tell me a little more about that.
Yes, actually, you can go to the website, and there's an actual place on the website where you'll be able to send me a message and be able to opt into that group. Once you opt into that group, you get inside the mentorship. Then we're going to start working together at least once a week, where I will physically be with you to guide you through the process of becoming the best speaker you can become.
Outstanding. Now tell me a little bit about what's on the inside of the book. What are they going to get? What's the big takeaway on I've got a chip on my shoulder? What are they going to get?
See, chip on your shoulder, I'm giving you all of the stories that I was able to overcome, all of the adversity that I was able to press my way through. Is that there's always a key that's going to help you get to the next level. And so inside of my book is tips to help you survive your storm. Everyone is going through something right now. And a lot of us, we have the strength, but you don't have the strategy. And sometimes you can find yourself being worn down because you're in a fight, but you don't know how to get out of it. What I'm going to do is give you the strategies of how to overcome your storm. One of my favorite words is called stronghold. It talks about that in the Bible. And a lot of us are dealing with a lot of strongholds because we have not become stronger than the hold. What you have to do is get stronger than the hold so you can break free from it.
I love that. As a wrestler in high school, I can relate. I've got a chip on my shoulder. You're going to release your strongholds. I stuttered as a kid, and one of the strongholds is fear and insecurity. And I was able to overcome fear and insecurity. I talk about it in my book, Finding the Speaker's Edge, turning your part-time passion into your full-time speaking career, speaking on stage, speaking online. And sold a lot of those during the pandemic, and actually helped a lot of people start getting paid to speak during the pandemic. So you're kind of a recent phenomenon, but it looks like you're probably a 20-year success, an overnight success, 20 years in the making, right? Tell us some of the nuts and bolts. Tell us some of the secrets you've learned along the way. What were some of the school of hard knocks? Did you get up on that first speech and kind of stutter your way through it? Or were you an immediate sensation the first time you took the stage and grabbed the mic?
No. There were plenty of times when I stood up, like Les Brown said, I stood up, but my mind sat down. And so there was a lot of times when I blew it. I just bombed it. But the thing is that you got to take time and analyze your mistakes. Okay, what happened? Did I have enough material? Did I know what I was talking about? Did I know the ins and out of it? And be able to adapt from your mistakes and just keep going. I guarantee you, we know the story of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. But did that stop him? No, he became one of the greatest basketball players of all time because he just did not quit. And that's what I'm telling you to do. Whatever you do, just don't quit.
Well, I'm reading from the back of the book right now. I've got a chip on my shoulder, and you're saying, I've got a chip on my shoulder, and I most definitely have something I want to prove. When life throws turmoil and devastation your way, it's easy to feel defeated and wonder, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
You must ask, is there a target on my back, or even am I cursed? This book is for anyone who's ever felt confused and devastated by the challenges they faced. It's hard to find positivity in negative situations, but sometimes knowing that others have walked a similar path can provide the encouragement you need. Imagine finding out you're pregnant with your 5th child at 41. Tell me that story, being diagnosed with lupus. Tell us, as people read the back of your book, they're wondering, who's this story about? The joy of expecting a new life is overshadowed by a diagnosis that threatens both your life and the life of your child. You're talking about your mom there, right?
Absolutely. My
Yeah.
mom is she's my hero. Without her, I would not be here. And the chip that is on my shoulder originates from the chip that was on her shoulder. When she had enough courage to tell that doctor that she was not going to abort me and get rid of me, all of that courage got transferred over to me. And so now anything that I face, I know is not greater than anything my mom didn't face. So if she could go through it, I know I can go through it. And so the book serves as a blueprint to show you how to make it out of that storm.
Wow. Wow. I'm just going to give you some of the chapter titles, and we might want to dive into a couple of these stories here. Chapter 1's Chip on My Shoulder. Chapter 2, Get Off the Bench. Number 3 is Ignore the Opinions That Oppose Your Position.
Yeah.
Fire That Kindles the Fire. This one stood out to me, Develop Through Darkness. Touch on some of these here. Bees Are Not Your Friend. You got some great stories, and you include the final chapters, The Great American Speakoff, but you talk about refusing to be denied. You talk about oak tree faith. You just mentioned your mom refused to abort you. I'm going to a baseball game this afternoon with my best friend since 3rd grade. Same story. His mom actually did endeavor to abort him a few times, but kept getting denied. God's hand of providence was on his life. And tell me some of these stories that are in the book that you share with your congregation, that you share with new speakers that are learning the craft of speaking. What's one of the favorite stories you get a lot of feedback on?
Yeah. So one of them is, of course, ignore the opinions that oppose your position. I was in college, and one of my biggest dreams was to play for a Division I team, a Division I school. And at the time I was at North Carolina A&T. If that school was a Division I probably would have stayed there, but they were not at the time. And so I ended up telling my dream to a dream killer. And so I told it to my instructor. My instructor said, he asked me a question: what do you want to do with your life? I said, well, I actually want to transfer. I want to go to a Division I school. I want to play football for a Division I team. And he looked me up and down and said, oh, you're not going anywhere. You're going to get out here and you're going to party like everyone else. You're going to get lost in the shuffle and your grades are going to slip. Well, that was crushing to me. Well, I took that information and I went home and I got on my knees, and with tears running down my face, God said to me, he said, Orrick, who determines your future, you or him? And I said, I do. And from that point on, I went to every instructor and I asked them, what do I have to do to get an A or B in your class so I can be on AB honor roll so I can transfer? And I ended up leaving North Carolina A&T on AB honor roll on my way to North Carolina State University. Go Wolfpack.
There you go. You did it, man. You did it. Well, that's just that's an amazing inspirational story. Are any of your kids public speakers? Have they shared the mic, or maybe they're a little too young? I don't know exactly their ages there. Have you given them the mic yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My oldest, Victoria, Kennedy, Taylor, even my youngest, he's 2 years old and he's trying to be like his daddy.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Well, I tell you what, that's exciting when you've got your kids following in your footsteps, but then also you've got proteges that you're training, and people can get on your site at godcodementorship.com. Is this like a 6-week program, or how long does it work? Is it a 12-month program when people sign up and chat with you at God Code Mentorship, Orrick?
So it's a 12-month mentorship program, and I am going to lay everything out for you from beginning to end. If you're a beginning speaker all the way up to expert speakers, I'm going to give you everything that is in me. I'm going to pour out everything to you to show you specifically how to use your gift in order to make a profit. CHIP means converting hell into profit.
Oh,
So everything that you've been through, we're going to flip it. We're going to transfer it into a profit so you can gain from your pain.
wow, I love that. I love that. I'm putting a little antidote out here. Use your gift to make a profit, and you use the word chip it. Actually, chip on your shoulder means what?
Converting hell into profit.
Wow. So some people just kind of run and hide and kind of self-medicate, hide out in the cave and whatever.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is use that as nitrous oxide to create the profit and to let your gifting shine forth. It's kind of like the coal being polished into a diamond, right?
That's right.
It's like people take the path of least resistance, and resistance is probably your friend, right? Hardship is probably good. We're watching the Olympics this week, and those young men and women that are winning are the young men and women that turn their back on pain. They ran toward the pain. They got up earlier. They paid the price. They said no to things. They said yes to the right things and no to the wrong things. And I tell you, Orrick, I think that this generation needs the oak tree kind of faith. I think we need that. We need leaders. I mean, always a time of crisis, of national and global crisis, is when the true leaders emerge. Tell me a little bit about your journey there and the journey of some of your people you've worked with. This oak tree thing, what does that look like?
See, I need for people to understand my past, where I've come from. I was almost aborted by a doctor. When I was 5 years old, I got hit by a car, died in the street. When I was 11 years old, I got thrown out the back windshield of a car, and the car flipped on top of me. Wow. I literally had to learn how to walk over 3 times in my lifetime. In 2016, we lost everything in a house fire. I'm not talking from something that I've read in a book. I am speaking from experience. I know to help you how to survive your storm, and I want to help you overcome your adversity in your life.
That's powerful. Well, I want you to follow Orrick on social media at Orrick Quick Sr. You've got some great posts there today. We're promoting the book. And all this week, what's kind of been some of the early feedback from friends and family that have been reading and reviewing the book? What are people saying about, I've got a chip on my shoulder?
Yeah, so they're most definitely excited, and they understand my past and how my title of my book, it just aligns with my life. It just makes sense that you don't ever want to live something that's not in you. And chip on my shoulder is who I am. I really do have a chip on my shoulder. If you've ever been denied, if you've ever been told no, if someone has ever denied you access to what you deserve, you got a chip on your shoulder. But this is the thing. It's not so much about proving to them that you can be successful. It's about proving to yourself that you are who God says you are.
Wow. Talk to me a little bit about this faith component for you. How important is it? And then also I want to ask you about the doors that winning the Great American Speakoff has opened up for you. Has having the faith component made you a more convincing, compelling speaker, or have you always been a person of faith?
Faith is, and that is what the God code does. The God code, it gives you the faith to be able to overcome any adversity in your life. I'll never forget this story. I was driving down the street and I saw this turtle in the middle of the road. And I said, I kind of swerved a little bit so I wouldn't hit the turtle. And then the small, still voice said to me, go back and help that turtle. I said, wait, I don't touch turtles. The closest I've ever gotten to a turtle was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's about as close as I get to turtles. And the voice said, God said to me, if you don't go back and help this turtle, he's not going to make it. I turned my car around, jumped out the car, picked up the turtle with my bare hands, and put it across the road. When I got back into my car, God said this to me. He said, Orrick, I'm so glad you did that, because what you did for that turtle is exactly what I'm going to do for everyone who meets me in the middle of the road. Orrick, you would have never seen that turtle if it was not in the middle of the road. A lot of us, we want God to do everything. Well, guess what? He's not. Faith without works is dead. And faith without partnership has no return. So you got to do your part.
Do your part, and do your part right now. Buy Orrick's book, download the ebook, scroll through it. It really helps the algorithms. Go ahead. I know you're going to go back and read every word of it because it's great. It's very inspiring and compelling and practical and inspirational. But go ahead and scroll through it today because it'll help us go #1. And that will help the algorithms, and leave us a Google review on Amazon because that will help other people find it because you found it, you were blessed by it, you wrote a review, you download it. And if you're buying the print copy, go ahead and buy the e-copy as well. That way your review will show up on Amazon quicker. These are a few little games we play to make sure more people find it, to make sure the algorithms know that you're not a bot, that you're a real human being. You're actually scrolling through the book. And then let Orrick know what you think. I'm sharing it on social media. He's sharing this interview on social media. Go ahead and share this on your social media along with the links. We'll be sharing the links out today and tomorrow and all this weekend, so you can share it with friends or family and comment. The more you comment, the more you share, the more it helps Orrick, and the more it helps. I've got a chip on my shoulder, touch lives and empower people. So talk to me a little bit about if you're speaking at church, and tell me a little bit about how many times are you speaking a week? How long does it take you to prepare for a talk? And what are some of the practical things you do to stay prepared to give a speech at a moment's notice?
And, just talking about practice, I've been teaching Bible study at a nursing home for the last 11 years, every Tuesday. And people don't understand. Everybody wants to get on stage. Everybody wants to get in a pulpit, but there are stages everywhere. I cannot tell you how much just talking at a nursing home, helping them to be able, and some of them they need to hear encouragement. They're at the end of their lives. The last thing they want is silence. They need for someone to speak into their lives. So I've been speaking for a very long time. And so I teach Bible study on Tuesday night, then at the nursing home, and I teach Bible study at our church on Thursday night. And of course, Sunday mornings I'm preaching, but I am speaking almost every day.
Well, the nursing homes, I did a long stint in the nursing homes, and I love that. I really love getting around the elderly and hearing their stories and meeting them and just to see them light up because they're really glad to see you. I mean, some of them don't have family coming around often and friends coming around often. You might be the only friend they've got coming that week, and it really makes a difference. And for somebody that's Zig Ziglar said, before I ever got paid for a speech, I gave 1,000 free speeches before I ever got paid for a single one. Well, I tell you what, he changed a lot of lives, but you start there, you're faithful, and you hone your craft, and you understand your audience, and you realize what it is they need that week. You might change your script. You might flip your script based on what they need. You mentioned Les Brown. He's been a great mentor to me, and he's somebody who over prepares, but he always shows up, and he's spirit driven by how his audience is doing that day. He's really sensitive to the fact that maybe something's happened at that company. Maybe something's happened in that organization. He can change his talk on a dime because he's spent his life preparing. And I've got a chip on my shoulder. It's a good way for you to get to know who Orrick Quick is. And it's a good way for you to learn more about what God's got for this next phase of your life by jumping into the God Code mentorship, chatting with Orrick, learning more, reading his book. You've got more books coming out. And we want you to share this book, but also what's one of the craziest things that's ever happened to you showing up in an event? Either the power goes out or the event planner forgot to tell you something, or what's a crazy story that you had to overcome?
Oh, well, back in 2016, I was a television co-host. And well, you know what? Look, I'll give you this one. I'll give you this one.
Yeah,
I
sure.
was in a speaking competition a couple of years back, and I was moving up, from 10th place, 5th place, 3rd place. Now I'm in the top 3. And so now they say, okay, we're gonna give you a choice. You choose this slip, and whatever comes into your hand, that's what you have to talk about for the next 7 minutes. And I'll never forget the topic that I chose. Never heard anything like this before. But the topic was, if you were a superhero, what would be your name and what would be your superpower? Immediately, what came to me was Resurrection Man.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
The power to resurrect individuals whose lives who were cut short. Sir, one of the things that I'm very, very passionate about is that last year, over 50,000 people committed suicide last year. And I want to reduce that number. I want to help people to understand their purpose so that they can keep on living for their family, even for themselves.
Wow, that's powerful. That's something you're making a huge difference. What's the best way for people to that want you to speak on their podcast, speak on their stage, to connect with you?
Say that one more time.
What's the best way for people to get you on their podcast and on their stage?
Yes, absolutely. Reach out to me by email, orrickquick@gmail.com. You can go to my Instagram page, God Code Mentorship, as well as Orrick Quick Sr. And on Facebook, you reach out to me and we're going to get things locked in, and I'm going to come and empower your crowd, your individuals, so that they'll never be the same ever again. That is my job. That every time I open up my mouth, I have to impact someone. I have to encourage someone. That's just who I am.
Well, you've been encouraging and impacting for 40 minutes on the Michael D. Show. We interview amazing authors all around the globe. You've been watching the Michael D. Show. I'm your host, Michael D. Butler, Beyond Publishing, and we have authors in 66 nations. We've published 814 books now, and it's been a great and amazing journey these last 7 years. And we've got authors that have spoken on 6 continents, and we haven't had anybody speaking in Antarctica yet. Have you spoken in Antarctica?
No, I have not.
We'll have to organize a speaking event in Antarctica, and then we've got the 7 continents covered. So, Orrick, it's been really great to have you here. I just want to kind of review. The book launches this week. It's dropped. It's available now. The hardcover, the paperback, and the ebook are available now everywhere. We're really proud of the fact that you won the Great American Speakoff.
Yes.
What was the one moment during that competition with 30,000 celebrity speakers vying for that top spot? What was at one point, did you think you weren't going to make it? Did you think you were going to get cut? Was there ever any fear or doubt in your mind?
Of course, you experience those fears and that nervousness right before you get on stage. But I told my wife and my church that I was not coming back empty-handed. I believed from the beginning to the end that I had what it took to come out as the #1 speaker. And of course, we all heard, you were there when John Maxwell said, "Orrick, that was an amazing speech. I think I'm going to start using some of your quotes." I said, "All right, let's go to work."
You remind me, I'm going to put John Maxwell's quote on the front of your book. So thanks for reminding me of that. That's very helpful, because he did say that in public, and we can quote him. And I did hear him say that. So did about 5,000 other people.
That's right.
Which is very, very powerful. With just a little insider secret here, his publisher doesn't allow him to write endorsements, but he gave us a verbal one that the audience heard, and we can.
That's right.
So there we go. Peter Willoughby from the UK gives you a shout out. Thank you, Peter. Good to see you here.
Hey, Mr. Peter, how are you?
Yes, a lot of people. We got Asia tuning in, 1040. Thanks, John. Good to see you. Faith Sapphire and John. Glad you're here. And just really, really happy, really glad that you've got a chip on your shoulder and that you did something with it. And I love it that positive mindset. You just said, hey, absolutely, I'm not coming back empty-handed. And you didn't. Tell me a little bit about that element of faith. Some people don't understand how powerful that element of faith is, and maybe they're just wishing or hoping for it, but you had this knowing, and so you spoke out of a place of knowing and having the confidence. Tell me about that.
See, faith is refusing to be denied. You have to refuse it. When I stepped on that stage, I knew that I was going to be the winner of this Great American Speakoff. And that is the confidence that you have to have when you walk into a boardroom, when you are selling your product, when you want people to buy into who you are. You've got to have that confidence in knowing that I am the right person for this job. And if you have that confidence, there's nothing you cannot do.
All right, all right. Peter Willoughby, he leads a great company over there in England. Thanks, Peter. Good to see you, my friend. And I love that picture you got, Peter. We got to reconnect, my friend. That's powerful, sir. So what's next now that the book's out and everybody's grabbing it everywhere? What is next for Orrick Quick?
This is my goal. I am getting on as many stages as I possibly can before this year ends. That is my goal, because there are people who need to be inspired. There are people who are depressed. There are people who are suicidal. And if they can just hear one good, encouraging word, it will keep them alive just one more day. So that is my goal. If you want me on your stage, let's work it out and let's go to work.
You know, you're speaking my language. Back in the 90s, I spoke all over in middle schools and high schools all over the U.S., did a lot of time in South Carolina, North Carolina speaking. I just love speaking to young people. And when they come up to you after the event and they're crying and they're telling you, I've been cutting myself, I'm trying to kill myself, and your message today changed my life. That right there. If somebody can join your program, somebody can get mentored by you at God Code Mentorship, and you can teach them how to change a life, that right there means your work and your voice is going exponential. You know, that's what's so powerful, is you're going to create this ripple effect. You know, Pete Vargas and Grant Cardone did this with you in the Great American Speakoff. This brand goes on, it's being televised. And for you to win this year and to be the 2024 finalist and the winner, crowned the champion of the Great American Speakoff, it's just the beginning. The beginning is here. And I would just say this here, that it's going to get bigger and bigger and huge and go global. This book is available in 150 plus nations. I'm taking it to Bangkok, Thailand next week. I'm taking it to Singapore.
Wow.
I'm taking this book all over the world. We're going to change a lot of lives, Orrick. And
that's right.
You picked Beyond Publishing. Of all the publishers you could have gone with, you said, I want to go with Beyond Publishing.
That's right.
We are really thrilled to be bringing you to the Guadalajara Book Show, to be bringing you to, we were just in Jerusalem at the book show in May. Believe it or not, in the middle of the war, we were networking with your the pre-advanced reader copy of your book, and then this fall in Germany, in Frankfurt. So we're very excited about that. So follow Orrick. He's got so much good content he puts out on a daily basis. Orrick, thanks for joining us on the Michael D Show. Really proud to welcome you into the Beyond Publishing family. And really proud of the work that you continue to do for the Grant Cardone family, the 10X community, all those great brands that he represents, including the Great American Speakoff. And I tell you what, you're going to want to sign these books for all the finalists. And we got to get a copy to Grant and Pete and Elena and everybody as well, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, good to see you. God bless you. Thanks for watching the Michael D Show. Wherever you're watching this, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as it's streaming around the globe, we want you to share it, because you're going to change your life today. And stay tuned for more from Michael Butler and Beyond Publishing and Orrick Quick. And I've got a chip on my shoulder.
That's right.
Orrick. We're glad you didn't give up when your house burned down. We're glad you didn't give up when you got hit by the car. We're glad you never gave up. And you said, I'm not coming home empty-handed. Somebody that's watching today needed to hear this, and you're going to tell your family and get this idea, this glimmer of belief and hope from the source, and you're going to say, I am not coming home empty-handed. I've been hurt. I've been knocked down. I'm not staying down. I'm going to change the world.
That's right.
Reprogram myself, and I'm stepping forward. I'm going to do it. So thank you,
That's
Orrick.
right.
Have a great day, my friend.
All right. Thank you, sir.